in a movie. Let's head now this morning to the editorial coordinator and film critic for HollywoodChicago.com. Patrick McDonald is back with us. Hey, Patrick, good morning. Hello.
Hey, take us back to 1963, Patrick.
Well, yes, today is the 60th anniversary of the John F. Kennedy assassination, November 22nd, 1963. Now, do you remember it?
I certainly do. I actually just had a flashback, Patrick. I remember the house I was in as a boy, so it's 1963. On this date, I'd have been 5 years old.
Okay.
And I remember just doing, whatever in the house, and my mom started crying, and I asked her why, and she showed me the television, and then we watched some of it. That's all I remember, but I specifically remember that day.
That's interesting, because I was only 3, and I do not remember. But contemporaries of mine, the same high school class, some did remember because they were like 6 months older. So it just depended on that level of toddler you were. But so many friends I know, my mother will tell me the stories. It's amazing. So today I'm discussing Executive Action, which is made 1973 on Ian Simmons' excellent podcast, Kicking the Seat. It was the conspiracy-oriented movie of JFK before Oliver Stone's JFK, 20 years later, and it featured Burt Lancaster and was released only 10 years after the assassination itself, relying on the early conspiracy theories. So just type in Kicking the Seat in YouTube. But my 2 favorite JFK assassination-themed films are Jackie, the 2016 film directed by Pablo Larraín. It views the situation through the lens of Jacqueline Kennedy, Natalie Portman, and a stunningly great performance. All the tragedy and shock is in this treatment, covering the assassination, the aftermath, and the funeral, which all took place in 4 sad days in U.S. history.
Doing some research. Oops, I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just doing a little research, I came across that one. I have not watched that one, but it looked like
it's really good.
Quite the movie.
It's really good for today. You know, if you really want to get an interesting little history lesson from the insider's point of view. Now, for documentaries, you can't beat the History Channel's extraordinary JFK, 3 Shots That Changed America. I would recommend renting this on any platform, but you can get part 1 of 2 free on YouTube. All it does is present the available news clips to give you the story without narration. So they take all the news stories from that era, stitch them together to tell you the story and how it impacted the country beyond. Now, this is a must-see for understanding that impact that this crime had on its citizenry. So has anybody here seen My Old Friend John, as the song goes?
Yeah.
But, my dad was a big Kennedy guy. He was only, I believe, 26 when the assassination occurred. And because of that, he kind of passed it along to me. And right around 13 years old, I got really obsessed with the elements of the assassination. And I finally went to Dallas this year. And on HollywoodChicago.com, you'll see my interview with the little girl who knew Lee Harvey Oswald. So you're going to have to check that out today.
Everybody. For sure. HollywoodChicago.com. It's a tough memory, but I'm sure lots of people out there in our listening audience are going, this is what I was doing that day, or I remember this. Right. And it's a good thing to remember. Patrick, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate you doing this on not your normal day, but thanks for joining us. All right. You take care.
Well, remember, Baker, every day, including a happy Thanksgiving, is a mad day.